often we'll talk about setting almost as a character, right? And of course, writers go back and forth about was setting a character or not. Setting doesn't have personal stakes, but it's definitely a very important element of any story. And I do empathize with both you and the fantasy novelist because I write historical mystery. And so there's world building that goes on 1920s is very different than the 2020s. 100 years ago, and my stories are set in Appalachia, a very rural territory. So it's different than what most of us in the 2020s experience. So, how do I bring that to life without stopping the action and describing how to start a Model T or why they don't have a Model T and they're still using a donkey and wagon, or who has electric and who doesn't? So, it's like that two sons example. And what I finally came to was, yeah, you definitely want to build in those hints, especially if it's a world and whether it's fantasy or a time and place very different from contemporary. You want to let people know that right away, as close to right away as possible, because our default is that it's contemporary. So the best way to do that is through, I think, through very subtle character action. Instead of saying, well, it's the 1920s and in this part of the world, and they're still using kerosene lamps. Well, Lily's lighting the kerosene lamp, and as the light flickers across the room, she's thinking of da 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 da. The fact she's lighting a kerosene lamp gives us a clue that maybe not that it's 1920, but that it's definitely not a routine default of a suburban house or a city house or a country house now. And then you can slowly build those things in.